So I'm going to show you how I prepare my wool for applique and show you the buttonhole stitch with my wool threads. So the first thing I want to show you is what I'm doing for the background for my appliques. And what I'm using is this Riley Blake linen. This is in the dark gray. And I pre-wash it because it's linen. It shrinks just a little bit. But I really love how it looks. And I love the background on the wool, how it looks. This is just one of the colors that they have. And then I'm using my circle rulers to make these cute little cookies like I do with my Sew Simple Shapes with my sewing interfacing. So this is the 4-inch size and this is the 6-inch size and these are the 9-inch size. And so that really makes for a really nice background because of the double thickness. And so you can applique on these first and then you can put them on a piece of fabric, or you can just simply use these, put wool on the back for a little doily or a plant mat or mug mat or whatever you want to do. But today I'm going to show you how to do the buttonhole stitch on here and how to prepare the wool. So for this block right here, I am using 2 of my Autumn Love Sew Simple Shapes, using the F8 and the F2. So the F2 is for the circle and the F8 are for these cute little leaves or shapes that go around the outside. So how you get these out of the wool, or you can do it several different ways. You can just use freezer paper, and this is just a triangle, but what I wanted to show you was you just trace it on, cut it out around the line, then you iron it on your wool, and then you can press it. Then you can take your wool and just staple it. I know it's staples, but we pin, so it's okay. But what's great about that is there's no glue, for the edges or anything like that. So you can staple it. You can just take the staples out like this when you're ready, or you can use some hemostats to take it out, or a staple remover. I think it's really fun and fast for these kind of projects. You can use glue for around the centers. I would just not use it around the edges because you want to be able to needle that. Or you can use this Heat and Bond soft stretch to iron it on. And you would use that the same as freezer paper by tracing on your pattern, cutting around it, then ironing it onto your wool, cutting it out on the line, and then you can go ahead and fuse it right onto your background. So there's several different ways. I like all different ways just depending on the project and what you're doing. So for this one, I just stapled it. It's a real fast project, and I want to show you how to do the buttonhole stitch. So I'm using my wool threads, and these are the colors. These are the 10 colors. And then I also have my set of neutral colors right here. So I'm going to be using this darker green color right here so that I can show the contrast here on this leaf. So what you want to do is come up from the back and start right here, right next to the edge of your piece, and come in probably about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. Come up kind of where you came to get started. So you've got one line, and then keep your thread this way. That's how I start my buttonhole stitch. So I'm stitching into the piece. I'm starting out into the piece and coming out on the edge, keeping my thread this way, so I'm doing a loop so that I catch that. And that's the cute little buttonhole stitch right there. The needles that I'm using are the sewing needles for my Nifty needles, and they're in the denim color. That's what I like for the wool. They have a nice sharp point, and I like the little round eye so that you can thread the wool through it. So you can decide how big or small your stitches, you can make them really tiny, you can make them bigger, but it's kind of easy to make them the same size because you're starting this way, so you know how deep that you can go. But there's all kinds of stitching you can do. I'm just showing you the buttonhole stitch, but you can do the feather stitch, you can do just a rustic applique stitch, or anything like that that you'd like to do. And you just continue going around. You can use thread that matches exactly, or you can do contrasting thread, or even a different color thread. Like you could take the dark color and go all the way around. You could use this variegated because of the background. It would be really fun to do this whole thing in the variegated. And so I just want to quickly show you how I knot off in the back. When I'm finished, I just take a bite out of the interfacing, go through my loop. I do that twice, and then I just cut off the edges. Okay, so I wanted to show you a few fun holiday projects I did with my wool, all the different colors, and my So Simple shapes too. And I just want to show you too how they come in 10-inch squares. So Fat Quarter Shop has these in 10-inch squares. It's 2 stackers, so 10 of the colors will be in a cool stacker and 10 of the warm colors will be in a warm one. And you can really do a lot with this size square. So, and that's what I used for these projects. So the first one I want to show you is this Happy Fall Y'all project. And what I did is I just bought an 11 by 14 frame, and I used the dark gray linen and as the background, and I've got a little batting underneath it too when I framed it. But all I did was use my Be Happy So Simple shapes for the truck and for the pumpkins, and then there's a heart and a star in there, but they're too big for this, so I just used the templates and kind of trimmed them down. And then I added, you know, little buttons on there and a little bit of embroidery with my Aurifloss, and I used the buttonhole stitch with my wool threads. And I think it turned out really cute for fall decor. Look how cute it looks with the pillow that I showed you earlier. I think it's really fun. So then I decided I really need to do a Christmas one. So I did this really fun one. So I still used the Be Happy shapes for the truck, and then I did the Cozy Christmas and did the snowman. And again, used my buttons, and I used the little shaped buttons that are shaped like a leaf in gray for the little truck handle. I embroidered some stars here, and I think it's a really fun Christmas project. This is the denim in the linen. It's either called navy or denim, I can't remember, but it's the Riley Blake linen as well.